Detroit Pistons select Cade Cunningham from Oklahoma State.
Alright, Pistons fans, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about the recent success of Saddiq Bey and then a little bit more about some Jerami Grant trade talks, because I have some new information that I wanted to show you guys. The trade talks for Jerami Grant have been heating up with championship contending teams. So we're going to get into all of that in this video, but before we do, make sure you guys like this video. Today's like goal will be 100 likes, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I drop consistent Pistons videos. So without further ado, let's get into this, man. So let's start off with Saddiq Bey, man. Saddiq has been killing it recently. Ever since the starters went down, they all went into protocol. It's been basically Saddiq Bey and Hamidou Diallo, the main two guys running the show. Obviously a side piece of Luka Garza. You had Cassius Stanley, Derek Walton Jr., guys trying to contribute, but the main two guys who were the head of that were Saddiq Bey and Hamidou Diallo, and they did not disappoint at all. And all of the games led up to that game against San Antonio, where Saddiq Bey hit the game winner, a beautiful pass by Derek Walton Jr. between the legs, and Saddiq Bey hit that game winner. So it was capped off beautifully. I could look at the stats actually. Just look at this killer stretch, man. Ever since December 16th against Indiana, 28 points, 23 points, 26 points, 15, which was his lowest in this stretch, but 23 points, 32 points, 21 points, 34 points, with 8 for 13 shooting, which is Saddiq Bey's record. So yeah, Saddiq Bey has been on it. He has finally found his confidence, which I have loved, man. I've told you all since the beginning of the season to stay patient. That's what I've been preaching, and Saddiq Bey has been one of those guys who I've continued to be patient with, just like Killian Hayes, another guy who I'm going to continue to be patient with, because in time you never know when they're going to pop off, when someone like Saddiq Bey will get out of a sophomore slump, or when Killian Hayes, whenever he develops that consistency on the offensive end of the floor. You never know when that's going to happen. So since we're a team that's not going to be competing for the playoffs right now, I'm going to continue to be patient with a lot of these guys on the roster. And when it comes to Saddiq Bey, he finally popped off for us, man. So round of applause, nothing but praise for him, man. He's found his shot. He looks comfortable out there. He helped us beat the Milwaukee Bucks, NBA champion. Milwaukee Bucks, just all in all, man, nothing but praise for Saddiq Bey. Now, as far as Jerami Grant goes, why did I even put him in this video? The reason why is because I've seen a lot of discussion around the whole, does this make Jerami Grant expendable? Because you got to think about it. Jerami Grant is the type of player who can play the 3/4. But when he plays, it kind of does shaft Saddiq Bey, and they kind of get muddied into the same type of position when they play with each other. And in turn, that negatively affects Saddiq Bey, and it helps out Jerami Grant because of the way how Dwayne Casey runs the offense. And now with Grant out of the lineup, we're finally seeing Saddiq at his best, or at least the best he's played so far this season. And it has been the question, should we now trade Jerami Grant? Because we now know that Saddiq Bey can fully fill that role without any issues. I'm gonna put the quote on the screen right now. The Pistons, they appreciate and love and respect everything that Grant did on and off the court, but when it comes to their small trading asset, Grant is filling up most of that real estate. What that basically means is Grant, out of all the guys that they're probably going to trade and looking to trade right now, Grant is the #1 guy. And then I have another quote here. I'm gonna put that on the screen. Multiple teams, contending teams with championship aspirations, are also contacting the Pistons to look for someone like Grant. So yeah, man, it sounds like it's basically official. The Pistons are really shopping Grant around. I've talked about teams like the Lakers in the past. I've talked about teams like the Blazers in the past. There are real teams, legit contenders who would be interested in Grant. And I'm going to be interested to see what they will be willing to offer, because all of the trade scenarios and possible rumors the guys are throwing out here, I haven't been impressed by them at all. Most of the time, the Pistons lose in the end. And if the Pistons are going to lose in the deal, what's the point of really trading Jerami Grant right now? I'm looking for a deal where we could possibly get one young player, maybe a future pick or multiple picks for Grant, but it's looking like that's probably not going to happen because we're dealing with contending teams. Contending teams, they don't typically have, many young players. The only team that really does is the Golden State Warriors. Those guys, they have a good mix of a lot of older guys who are leading the show, but at the same time have a young talent of players who would be acceptable, and a few guys who I would be interested to add to this Pistons team. So I'm going to continue to follow this story and see what happens to Jerami Grant. But to end this video, I want to wrap it up by saying, yes, it does appear that Saddiq Bey has now made Jerami Grant expendable, and the trade could be coming soon. It's past December 15th. A lot of guys' contracts are now allowing them to be traded, so we're gonna see what happens, man. So Pistons fans, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Thank y'all for 4K, and I'm out.